Have you ever wondered what secrets lie buried beneath our feet? Secrets so terrifying they were never meant to be found. In today's story, we take you deep into the heart of America, where a forgotten truth is about to awaken. A truth not from our past, but from our future. This isn't science fiction. This isn't conspiracy. This is a chilling tale of what happens when we dig too deep and disturb something that was never meant to see the light of day again. So turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and prepare yourself for the future secret of America horror experience that will leave you questioning reality itself. And if you enjoy unsettling stories like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. And I promise, the nightmares have only just begun. The Whispering Signal. In the year 2043, at a top-secret geological research facility deep in the Nevada desert, strange phenomena begin to unfold. The earth beneath the facility has been quiet for decades, but one night, a low-frequency signal is detected, something rhythmic, deep, and haunting. It doesn't come from space. It's originating from far below the Earth's crust. A doctor, Lena Hart, a brilliant but reclusive geophysicist, becomes captivated by the signal. It pulses every night at exactly 3:33 a.m. It's not seismic activity, not tectonic movement, not man-made. It sounds alive. The research team, unsure of what to make of it, deploys a seismic drone, equipped with audio and thermal sensors, to investigate. Halfway through its descent into the Earth's crust, the drone malfunctions. Its camera goes dark, static fills the feed. But just before it shuts down completely, a chilling word is transmitted in a distorted voice. Awake! Dr. Hart, shaken but intrigued, begins to suspect they have stumbled upon something ancient, something buried intentionally. And whatever it is, it's waking up. The forbidden depths. Despite repeated warnings from federal oversight agencies, Lena initiates an unauthorized deep core drilling operation, funded by a shadowy private entity obsessed with pre-human history. As the drill goes deeper than ever before, more than 12 miles beneath the Earth's surface, it encounters something impossible. A metallic surface embedded in the rock. This isn't a cave or natural formation. It's a structure. A wall. No. A door. The door is smooth, seamless, and alien in design, but it's pulsing faintly with a red glow, like it has a heartbeat of its own. Lena and her team work tirelessly to breach it. As they do, workers begin experiencing shared nightmares, a vision of the Earth splitting apart, swallowed by a rising column of black smoke and bone. When the door finally opens, a blast of freezing air rushes out, and every light in the facility flickers. Inside is a tunnel of bone-like material leading downward. Something is carved along the walls in a language no one recognizes, but Lena's translator AI gives a rough interpretation. Not prison, not tomb cradle. The Entity Archive. As the team explores the chamber, they find shelves of strange scroll-like cylinders made of bone and a translucent, membrane-like material. When scanned, the scrolls emit low-frequency sounds and show holographic images of a creature and entity unlike anything from Earth. Lena discovers what she calls the Entity Archive, a room covered in carvings and strange diagrams. After weeks of obsessive study, she begins to understand them. This place was built to contain a living being, not by humans, but by an advanced race, one that apparently vanished long before humans evolved. One of the workers, Miguel, begins speaking in an unknown language during his sleep. His voice changes. He mutters of stars consumed, of timelines erased. Lena realizes the scrolls aren't just records. They are warnings. She decodes one crucial sentence. We buried it here. You must never waken the unborn god. Then Miguel disappears. Security footage shows him walking calmly into the tunnel and vanishing into thin air. His final words, whispered to the camera, "It knows you're listening." Operation Black Echo. News of the discovery reaches higher authorities. Within hours, the facility is placed under military control. That a covert Black Ops team known as Echo Unit arrives, under orders to contain whatever was found. But they are unprepared. The soldiers report seeing things that aren't there. They hear whispers echoing from walls that shouldn't carry sound. Some begin to bleed from their noses and ears. One soldier carves strange symbols into his own face, chanting, "We are inside the dream, that we are inside the dream." The facility goes into lockdown. Lena tries to escape but is detained. The government begins classifying the incident under a new term, reality contamination event. From within the walls, motion sensors pick up something moving, slithering along the bone corridors. Cameras catch glimpses of something tall, thin, and impossible moving, like smoke yet solid like flesh. The Immortal Core. Lena escapes confinement and ventures into the lowest chamber, guided by a vision and image burned into her mind during a dream. A vast organ, a beating heart made of light and black stone. There it is, suspended in a pool of liquid mercury and surrounded by tendrils of bone and wire, is the core, a biomechanical construct still pulsing, still alive. But it isn't a machine. It's a seed, a sleeping consciousness, and the signal they detected was its breath. The carvings in this chamber depict the history of the entity. IT was placed here by beings from another universe who feared its power. IT doesn't just feed on matter. IT feeds on reality itself. And now that it's been found, it has started to wake up. The time collapse. Temporal anomalies begin occurring in the facility. Security footage shows the same hallway existing in multiple timelines at once. Team members experience time differently. Some age decades in minutes. Others become trapped in repeating loops. Lena sees herself from the future, burned and broken, begging her to stop the awakening. "You think this is discovery," her future self screams. But it's infection. IT remembers the future. IT devours what could be. Outside, satellites begin malfunctioning. Maps change. Some towns vanish completely, erased from history. America is shifting, as if being overwritten. The God below. The ground splits open at a chasm hundreds of feet wide, tears across the desert, revealing a massive skeletal figure beneath the earth. IT begins to rise. IT is not a creature. IT is not a god. IT is memory, a living echo of everything that has ever been or could be. Its body is made of forgotten time. Its eyes infinite. IT speaks in a voice that isn't sound but pure thought. And everyone who hears it understands something different. Some. It promises power. Others. Oblivion. But all feel one thing. Madness. Millions begin having the same nightmare worldwide. Politicians vanish mid-speech. Global systems collapse. But America is the epicenter, and the entity has only just begun to breathe. The final protocol. Lena finds the final chamber, where the original builders left a failsafe. A quantum nuclear warhead designed to collapse the pocket of reality containing the entity. But the process will erase everything in a 400-mile radius, including Lena. She records a final message. "If you're seeing this, we failed. This wasn't just about America. IT was about everything. The entity doesn't consume worlds. IT consumes futures." She presses the detonator. There's light. There's silence. And then, a whisper. The next cradle is in Europe. Echoes across the sea. The detonation site is declared a permanent no-fly zone, but satellites show the crater glowing faintly at night. In France, a child is born during a thunderstorm, speaking a language no one understands. His heartbeat pulses at exactly 3:33 a.m. In Vatican archives. Ancient scrolls begin rewriting themselves. One phrase is repeated across pages untouched for centuries. It crossed the ocean. Back in Washington, analysts reviewing Linus' last transmission realized something terrifying. A fragment of the signal survived the explosion transmitted through the Earth's magnetic field. Not destroyed, just it moved. The Paris fracture. A drilling operation in the Paris catacombs uncovers a chamber identical to the one beneath Nevada. This time, the walls are inscribed with the names of cities yet to be built and the dates of their collapse. One name glows faintly. New London, 2055. Inside the chamber, a floating sphere emits distorted images. Lena's face, screaming, "Future wars, cities in flames." The sphere cracks, and a scream bursts from within, heard not with ears, but in blood. Thousands of people across Europe suffer shared hallucinations of being buried alive. That a church collapses in Germany at 3:33 a.m. No survivors. The architects return. Above Earth, telescopes detect an anomaly near Jupiter, a massive object, moving against gravity. It's coming closer. Every 72 hours, another ancient site on Earth activates. They call them cradles. In Egypt, the Great Pyramid emits a low hum. In Peru, the Nazca lines shift subtly overnight. One by one, Earth's oldest structures begin to respond. If awakening, then a transmission is intercepted. Not human, not the entity, but something else. A single phrase, decoded from a dead language. "We are coming back to seal what you have unsealed." The hollow earth theory was wrong. In Greenland, researchers drill through ancient ice to discover a perfectly spherical cavern filled with gravity-defying structures. A frozen being rests at its center, locked in a coffin made of starlight and bone. As it thaws, it opens its eyes and speaks Lena's name. This time, it's not just one entity, it's many. A species designed to survive the collapse of timelines. But now that the seal is broken, they are no longer confined by physics, by time, or by human resistance. They have a purpose: to rewrite Earth from its core, the world without a future. In a final broadcast hacked into every screen worldwide, Lena somehow alive appears, but she's changed, older, wiser, or maybe just broken. "You think this was about survival?" she whispers. "It was never about us. It was about what comes after. The entity wasn't the end. It was the beginning of remembering something we were made to forget." As she speaks, shadows rise across the globe. People vanish mid-sentence. The stars above shift position. Gravity weakens. The Earth is no longer ours. The future no longer waits. And the final cradle has opened. The Paradox Protocol. The survivors thought they had escaped the worst. But just as silence settled over the ruins of the temple facility, a strange pulse vibrated through the air, a static shock that scrambled nearby electronics. From the ashes rose a new signal. The time fracture hadn't collapsed. IT had evolved in the heart of a hidden lab beneath the original site. Something moved, something that had studied them through the rift, mimicked their thoughts, and now sought form. The files labeled Paradox Protocol were never just theoretical. They were backup containment plans. In case something learned to cross over. Sarah, the last surviving quantum analyst, received a distorted video transmission. Herself, aged, staring into the camera with lifeless eyes, whispering, "Don't let it become real." Suddenly, the building began to shift. Walls vibrated, time loop echoes of the dead began replaying in real time around her. The entity was using memory itself as a weapon, turning reality into a living recursion. She activated the last Manual override at a lockdown sequence no one had dared to use. But as the heavy blast door slammed shut, the shadows inside the room twisted into limbs. The IT was already inside the observer experiment, hundreds of miles away, in a deep black site known only to a few as Sector Glass. A new team received the emergency alert. The observer experiment and effort to study the rift from a multidimensional viewpoint was now fully activated. Cameras weren't just capturing moments, they were capturing intentions. Dr. Marcus Heller, blind since birth but gifted with post-cognitive senses, stood before the main observation screen. "It sees us seeing it," he whispered. "That's how it learns." Monitors blinked, each showing a different timeline. Some depicted Earth burned and twisted. Others showed human figures mutating into unrecognizable shapes. In one feed, a young boy simply stared into the camera and bled from the eyes. They had made a fatal mistake. By observing too deeply, they had allowed the anomaly to reflect itself into being. It was no longer waiting in the future, it was folding into the now. One by one, the observers vanished from the facility. No blood, no trace. Just eyeglasses, left on chairs, headsets humming with whispers. The deep fault, a seismic rift in Montana, cracked open unexpectedly. What was initially thought to be a tectonic anomaly was something far more chilling. A breach in physical time layers. Geological readings indicated ancient bones fused with future technology. An expedition team, including geologists and military engineers, descended into the fault. Deep underground, they found massive organic machines, living data towers, pulsing with incomprehensible code. Their design resembled human spinal columns. A voice echoed through the rock. It wasn't speaking a language, but it was that familiar. One of the engineers, Clay, dropped to his knees, clutching his head. "It's saying my name. It's asking me why I brought it here." Further in, the group discovered a single word etched into an obsidian wall. "Forgotten." Moments later, all light sources died. Only one man made it out. His body was intact, but his mind had regressed to infancy, and his heartbeat emitted low-frequency time pulses. The timeless prison. They tried to quarantine the area. They failed. The anomaly built its own perimeter, an invisible sphere, where time unraveled and reformed at will. Drones sent and returned seconds later, covered in moss and rust, as if decades had passed. People who entered aged or de-aged unpredictably. Inside this perimeter, a town once stood. Morrow Creek. Now, it floated between states of existence. Ghosts of its past citizens interacted with future versions of themselves. Children played with bones of their older selves. Echoes laughed with voices long silenced. A team led by Agent Elaine attempted a rescue. They never returned, but one night their audio logs began broadcasting across every frequency. "This is Delane. We're still here, but it's not now. Not ever. It's always." The signal looped endlessly, forming patterns in static that mapped out constellations. Constellations from no known sky. The last revelation. It had spread far beyond the government's control. Civilian reports of time ghosts, memory fractures, and future shadows began flooding the net. Of course, they were buried under misinformation, but the phenomenon grew sentient. Then came the collapse hour, an event broadcast live when every clock in the world struck 1313 simultaneously. For exactly 66 seconds, all global surveillance feeds glitched. During that time, viewers saw something different, depending on their future. Some saw their own corpses. Others saw Earth devoured by darkness. Some saw a calm void. Those who saw the void didn't stop screaming. At the center of it all stood a single tower, stretching beyond the sky, covered in eyes and mouths. each whispering in languages no human had invented. The future secret was no longer a secret, that IT was the present's reflection, and it was watching us back. And so the truth was buried again beneath layers of silence, secrecy, and scorched earth. But the whispers remain. The time fractures never closed, and somewhere, just beneath the surface, that IT still waits. What you've just heard isn't just a story. It's a warning, because sometimes the future doesn't come for us, that we dig into it and unleash what should have never existed. If this tale chilled you, made you think, or kept you on edge till the very end, let me know in the comments. What would you do if you discovered a secret that could erase reality itself? If you enjoyed this story, please give it a like. It really helps this channel grow. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying journeys into the unknown, because that was just one chapter, and what comes next might be even worse. Until then, keep your lights low, your mind open, and your footsteps soft. Something might be listening.